I would say that Sadhvi ji to start our session by blessing her presence, and then we can start after that.
It's so beautiful to be together and to be joining with our sisters and brothers sitting in Osaka, as well as our sisters and brothers around the world. There's a beautiful mantra from the Vedas that would be wonderful for us to open today, especially on this very sacred and holy day of Dashera. And the mantra says, Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. And it means, O divine, lead us from the darkness of ignorance in which we suffer and in which we bring suffering unto others. That darkness of ignorance in which we identify, just as these physical bodies, the sizes, the shape, the color, the race, the religion, the story, lead us from that darkness of ignorance to the light of truth, in which we remember that we are that one, united, universal, eternal, immortal soul that is never born, that never dies, not one size or shape or color or story, but that we are all one with that universal, divine, creative intelligence. Om, peace. Om, peace. Om, peace. Om, shanti, shanti, shanti.
Perfect. I think it's a great start for us. If we can just spend a minute or two to just talk about who we are as person, and what something we can really bring to this discussion for our audience.
Sure. I'm Sadhvi Bhagavati Saraswati. I am based in Rishikesh, India, on the banks of the sacred Ganga River in the lap of
It's
the
beautiful.
Himalayas. I'm originally from the United States, but I've been here almost 30 years and come from a academic Western scientific background with a degree from Stanford and a PhD in psychology, and now have been living, as you can tell from what I look like, the life of a monastic renunciant for almost 3 decades, and have a beautiful blessing of serving in a variety of capacities in a variety of different organizations and foundations working for the environment, for children, for women, for spiritual upliftment, and so much else.
Perfect. Thank you so much. My request to Sadhviji would be that how she really thinks that in going forward, we really need to reverse this algorithm. We really need to change this matter that technology should treat us human more. And we should, if we want to say, if we want to deal with technology cordially, we should keep doing it. It's not, there is no harm in doing that way, but at least it should be reversed to us. So please go ahead.
Sure, great question. And
Thank you.
first of all, you had asked about transition. So beginning with transition and
Please.
then weaving into your question. I came to India actually at the age of 25 in the middle of getting my PhD. And I came with a backpack on what I thought was actually just going to be an adventure. I had taken 1 semester off of my PhD program to travel. I was an avid traveler. I loved traveling. And so I came, and I won't go into the long story of it, but basically standing on the banks of the sacred Ganga River, I had a very powerful and life-changing spiritual experience around understanding myself. Prior to that moment, I had identified very much as a role as the story, as the body, as the history, as skills, abilities, or lack thereof, and all of the aspects that in the tradition of Sanatan Dharma we would consider ignorance or illusion or untruth. And it's what I call the Hollywood way of thinking, because it's how, not only in Hollywood, sadly, but all over the world, we're told to understand ourselves. And when we understand ourselves like that, it causes suffering.
Mhm.
Competition, jealousy, feelings of not enoughness, constant feeling of, as we say in Sanskrit, rag and dvesh, desires, aversions, grabbing, hoarding, grasping, all of these dilemmas within us, challenges within us. And when I came here, the beautiful experience that I was given, in addition to the spontaneous spiritual experience of being in the presence of the divine, in addition to that was the wisdom of the Vedic tradition, what I call the Himalayan way of thinking, which reminds us you have a body, but you're not the body. You are soul, you are
Mhm.
spirit, you are consciousness, you are cosmic intelligence, you are divinity, whatever way you conceive of that's actually what we are. And through that, our suffering ends, and we stop bringing suffering unto others, because suddenly it's a matter of who to compete with, who to harm, who to steal from. There is no other. It's actually all self. And for whom to steal. If I'm not the body,
Mhm.
if I'm not my bank account, if I'm not my pocketbook, then actually, what am I stealing and for whom? So that's for me that transformation. I then did end up staying here. I knew this was where I was meant to be. And I've been here almost 30 years now. With regard to the specific question around using people and loving things and our interaction with I think, first of all, it's actually really beautiful how polite most of us are with AI. It means that all of our parents can actually be very happy to know that we did actually learn our manners, that we do actually know how to say please, how to say thank you, how to be nice to someone. I think the dilemma is that in our other relationships, we want something that we're not getting. Most of us are quite nice and quite polite when someone is
Mhm.
giving us what we want. It's when we're not getting what we want that we end up not being quite so nice. And the thing with AI and the way that it's been programmed, as you've probably all noticed, is it is on the far end of obsequiousness. I mean, it's all, oh, that is so smart. Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. Oh, and so it's not only is it actually giving us what we want, like, hey, write this essay for me, and here it is, but it's actually padding our ego in this constant way. And it's why so many people are spending so much more time talking to Chat GPT than talking to their loved ones, because their loved ones are going to say things like, hey, I don't agree. Hey, do you really think that was a good idea? And Chat GPT, unless you've trained it otherwise, its default mechanism is to basically tell you that whatever you say is the most brilliant thing that it's ever heard, and that you are like the best person on the planet. And so naturally, we're going to enjoy that, like that. We're going to want to foster that. Um,
Yeah.
I've noticed in myself also, I read an article several weeks ago about the amount of water that is wasted through the electricity generation every time you write please in your Chat GPT prompt. And so I tried to make a concerted effort to actually stop writing please. And it's fascinating because in my mind, you get this idea of like, oh my God, well, I wouldn't want it to think that I was rude, you know, and
Yep,
suddenly
totally.
we're concerned about, oh my God, this machine should not think that I've somehow lost my manners. So I think it actually is beautiful. I think it's that we as humans have been A, well raised, B, we know how to interact with love and caring and reciprocity. The dilemma is much more, to me, on an emotional, psychological, and spiritual level in our relationship with human beings, because human beings have opinions of their own. They're not always going to tell us that we are the most brilliant, beautiful thing ever created. They're going to disagree with us. They've got their own
Yep.
karmic package. Your ChatGPT has no karmic package of its own. Whereas the human beings we're interacting with have their own karmic packages. They're on their own karmic journeys. And so, a critical part of our spiritual journey, but also just our emotional evolution, psychological evolution, is to be able to be in the presence of someone who's not doing what we want, who's not acting
Mm.
the way that we would like, and nonetheless anchor in compassion, in kindness, in love. It's like the Buddhist practices of loving kindness, of metta. They they'll have you begin with someone you love because it's easy. But then ultimately the practice is going to take you into sending metta or sharing metta with enemies. I know a lot of people who quite literally put a picture of their most unfavorite political leader on their altar in the morning. And they leave the picture, but in the morning when they come to the altar, it's a matter of, bowing to the divine in the form of however we worship, and then practicing seeing that divine in a particular political leader, a particular, other type of person who really we don't agree with whatsoever. And it's a practice of seeing that divine in all. So I think it's great that we're really nice with AI, but I think it's a very important spiritual practice to learn how to anchor in compassion and kindness with our fellow human beings, and also to really practice seeing that divine in them, not just seeing their roles.
Mm.
I mean, most of us know how to be polite to someone who is at a higher level than we are. Maybe it's
Yep.
our boss, maybe it's some very wealthy person or powerful person. Like, we know how to do the yes, sir, G situation. But if it's somebody beneath us, or someone we see as beneath us, someone in a more,
Yep.
service level, we're going to be quite rude to them. And
Yeah.
on a spiritual level, we're taught like that divine is in all. So honestly, I see this as much more of a spiritual dilemma than I do as a technological dilemma. I think it's great that we're
Got it.
polite to our devices. We just need to learn how to be more compassionate as humans as well.
Perfect. Good, good. Thank you.